Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Vamp Gamer here, and I'm a big Fallout fan. Like, obviously, I'm a Fallout streamer, but I stream other games. But anyway, everyone's been talking about this Fallout, Bethesda, Xbox shit, so let's talk about it. So, it was a rumor for a long time. Well, I would say like maybe like a couple months that Xbox was buying Bethesda, but like a lot of people were like, nah, like it's gonna be only exclusive if they buy it. But like we're not 100% sure. But it's a major win. It's a major win for fucking Microsoft. Like Microsoft right now is looking like the kid that everyone wants to be, in school, in high school. So Microsoft was also thinking about buying like WB Games, and then I heard Sony was gonna buy it. But if Sony would buy WB Games, like they would be like on the same level. But Sony, honestly, Sony is really cheap. They don't like to buy game series. They don't like to do this. They don't like to do that. They're just, in my opinion, Sony is just like all talk, all talk. Like Sony's that kid that is trying to be cool, but they're not really cool. But like I'm excited. I feel bad for PlayStation people because if let's just say like you're a Fallout fan and you only play on PlayStation, like if it decides to be exclusively to Xbox, like you guys are fucked. You guys need an Xbox. I've always loved Xbox. Since I had my PS2, I've always loved Xbox. I slowly, like, PS2 is the best PlayStation overall, but like PS3, PS4 is just mediocre to me. Like it's just the same shit. Like they don't change anything, Not to mention like the online situation. It was free for the PS3. Now you gotta pay for it on PS4. Like they're kind of hypocrites, in my opinion. Oh, it's gonna be free. It's gonna be free, but they realized that they can make money off of it, so they started doing it. Xbox did it from the get-go, so yeah. So let's get into it. Let's stop talking about my shit for PlayStation. Xbox wants to beat PS5 with Bethesda. Dreamcast guy. I like his name. It's my first time tuning in also.
Today has been completely strange when you consider the fact that Xbox is starting to reveal their master plan and how they want to try and beat the PlayStation 5. And while I think it's good, I'm curious if it's going to work. What's up, gamers? Dreamcast Guy here, and just a bit ago I just finished watching the Xbox Roundtable, where they basically spent an hour talking to the developers over at Bethesda about this upcoming acquisition. The fact that now Bethesda is 100% completely owned by Microsoft. And the reason they did this is almost as a way of trying to calm down the fans. A lot of the things the developers were saying was lots of stuff about, oh, this isn't a big deal. Yes, they technically own our game engines, our ideas, our games, our IP, everything's going to be on Games Pass, but it felt like they were spending a lot of time just basically going, this will only be good for Xbox gamers. Now I want to talk about the idea of exclusives and what I think the grander implications of this in a war against PlayStation. Because let's face it, there is still a little bit of a console war. And right now, the biggest weapon in the console war in behalf of Sony is momentum. The PlayStation 4 was such a crazy, overwhelming success that a lot of people jumped straight from PS4 to PS5 because it carried over their games library, a lot of their games, their save files. A lot of people are currently trying to get a PlayStation 5, mostly to some degree because they had a PlayStation 4. I'm glad I own both, but I still love my PlayStation 5 a little bit more. But it seems like what Xbox is trying to do is basically say, it's time to take us seriously. So let's begin actually by listening to this statement that was just released. This is part of the Bethesda Game Showcase, where it's now pretty much confirmed that Microsoft is going to be putting everything as an Xbox and PC exclusive going forward.
And like I was saying, if you're a Fallout fan, like you guys are like fucked. Like you have no choice to buy an Xbox, a trash box, as you guys say. Like console wars have been going on since Xbox started. When I was a kid, and it's not going to change. Xbox will always compete with Sony. Sony will always try to compete with Xbox. Sony has taken Xbox's, formula. The internet was free, with Sony. Oh, we're gonna be free. We're gonna be free. Now you have to pay for it. With the PS4, the game. What is it? The game. No. The monthly every month for Xbox. Every month you get free games, 2-3 games free. Sony started doing that shit. It's copying off of my homework, and on top of that, what is it? Game Pass right now. Game Pass. Watch. Sony's gonna start doing that shit. Start doing that shit soon. Sony's gonna start doing that. It's fucking Netflix for fucking games. Like it's fucking genius. Why couldn't Xbox come out with it? The 360, but they've been out for a very long time now. So like they just started doing Game Pass, and I think Game Pass is amazing. I don't have it. I like the fact that you can play games that just come out if you have it. If you haven't played the new games that came out before you buy them, you can do that with Game Pass. I like the fact that they have like previous games, and you can keep the save files. It's fucking amazing. Like if I don't have no games and I have Game Pass, like I can fucking play my Xbox. Like that's just fucking amazing in my opinion. But Sony's gonna start doing that. Sony's gonna start doing that shit. But as of right now, the only way these console wars will ever come to an end if there are no exclusives. There's only exclusives, so that way you can buy the system and the system can make more money. It makes fucking sense. Like, perfect example. The Medium, like it looks like a great fucking game. The Ghost game, it's only exclusively to Xbox. Xbox, what is it? Series X? PlayStation can't get it. Me, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I love Peter Parker. I could only play Spider-Man if I have a PS4, PS5. But I'm not gonna waste $500 so that way I can just play one fucking game. No point, because Metal Gear Solid is done. Yakuza is being released for the Xbox. Kingdom Hearts is also for the Xbox now. So like I don't need a PlayStation. I really don't need one. But if I want to play Miles Morales, I guess I'll buy a used PS4 and play the old games. But I mean, if it comes out, I don't know if it comes out for the PS4, but most likely it will. Trust me. But this is a big win for Microsoft. I'm a big Xbox fan. I have all the Xboxes, and like I recently bought my series. I'm not gonna say Series X. I'm gonna say Xbox One X because I'm fucking confused sometimes. But it's a big fucking win. Like I don't have nothing to worry about because I have a One X. I had the original one Xbox One, but it died. I had it for 5 years. It finally died. Like Xboxes last pretty long if you know how to take care of them. But I'm not buying the new Xbox Series X because I just bought the One X, and this One X is gonna last me maybe like 5-6 years. Is gonna last me. So, and I use it every day. So I don't want to hear like, oh, Xbox is faulty. Xbox, no, it's not faulty. You don't know how to take care of your Xbox. That's why it don't last. But like I'm saying, I'm so happy. Like Xbox has another fucking exclusive. Not just Gears of War, not just Halo, not just Fallout. Elder Scrolls as well. You guys like Elder Scrolls. I know you guys like that shit. I don't like that shit. I only fuck with Fallout. Fallout's my shit. Like, it's The Walking Dead with all the boring stuff included, plus the fun stuff. you know. But let's get back into the video. Let me stop ranting.
Literally, if there's not a contract in place, it's going to be an exclusive. But let's check out this clip right here. So this is obviously the chief of Xbox, Phil Spencer. He's the guy who's kind of in charge with what games go where, what deals are done, and who gets bought. Well, let's let just him talk for a sec.
I'm going to try to be as clear as I can, because that's what I just think it's fair. So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive, because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances.
Pause. So here, real quick, it's just quick to point this out. Legally, he has to say this. Phil Spencer is not just being placating, he's not being vague. There are actually certain games that Bethesda has already sold exclusive contracts for. Things like Deathloop. Deathloop, this is going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive for quite a while, and straight up, legally, they can't stop this deal. This is already finished, it's already done, it's coming out here in a couple of weeks. Legally, they can't change things up. But the grander implications of this is basically starts hinting at what's coming next. Here's Phil again.
We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go support those games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players, we love those communities, and we'll continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be things that have either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that we'll go do. But if we're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
All right. Did you get that? Did you fully absorb the information? Basically, I think that this is a very, very good statement. I think he's managing to really kind of establish the point very importantly, which is basically what they're saying is, if you're already loving Xbox games, if you're already loving Microsoft properties that happen to be on the PlayStation 5, like specifically think of something like Elder Scrolls Online, Tamriel Unlimited, this is still on the PlayStation, this is still on PC, this is still all over the place, and it's still getting lots of expansions and updates and huge chunks of content. This is now technically an Xbox game. Yes, not directly, but it is a Microsoft property. And they're basically saying, we're not going to be pulling things off of other stores. Instead, you can keep giving us your money anywhere you want. It is just future content that's coming to the Xbox. Now, a major focus of this presentation in general was definitely just the idea of Games Pass. In fact, even during it, they announced that another 20 games are coming to Games Pass tomorrow. Everything from Wolfenstein to frickin' Morrowind, which I love a bunch, Doom, everything is coming to Games Pass. And now it sounds like everything is going to be coming to Games Pass going forward. So every single game that was going to be on Xbox, every Bethesda thing, is now going to be part of the Games Pass subscription. And I think that this is part of their power move. Now let's kind of just sort of spell this out. Why I think that this is such a dangerous gamble, but I think it might work. So I bought a PlayStation 3 a couple months after launch, way back in the day, and some of you may not remember this, but very early on, the freaking Xbox 360 was a juggernaut. Last generation, or I guess 2 generations ago now, the Xbox 360 was incredibly powerful. Things like Halo and Call of Duty, at least shooters and stuff, were kind of getting that mainstream appeal. And additionally, this was a time period where very, very fast internet was accessible for the first time very, very easily. So people were actually going and spending a ton of hours, but more specifically on Xbox. The PlayStation 3 was definitely at a disadvantage until nearly the end of the generation. This is a well-documented thing, but it was interesting being there at the start.
Just give me a moment. I need to check something, because I hope my mic wasn't off the entire time. I'm gonna be so fucking tight if it was. Alright, so yeah, I had to double check, so let's get back into it. I don't want to waste time recording this video if you can't hear me speak.
Of the PlayStation 3 because there wasn't much to play. At the very start, honestly, the main thing I did on my PlayStation 3 was play PS1 games. I mean,
and you know what's crazy? I respect this fucking guy. I respect this guy so much, even though even though he's a PlayStation gamer, like I have nothing against PlayStation gamers, but this guy keeps it fucking real. Like he's not bullshitting. Like there was nothing for the PS3. I remember that shit. Like fuck. At least he's honest, but you know he should talk about the Batman Batarang, the Batarang controller that PlayStation said they were gonna do, but they never did. But I have a Batarang controller for my Xbox. I mean, it's fucked up, but I still got two of them.
Seriously, it was kind of just this device that didn't have a huge catalog, but the games that did come to PlayStation 3 looked fantastic. But instead of giving up, instead of just Sony trying to pack it in or start to make deals, they decided to start creating their own first-party stuff that was mind-blowing. Think about the fact that Uncharted is now considered to be one of the best freaking adventure games of all time, and I definitely agree with that sentiment. And that started on the PlayStation 3. We got the original trilogy of Uncharted games back to back, and they were freaking fantastic.
Yeah, you know, and the crazy thing is, I was always a big Tomb Raider fan. I never wanted to give Uncharted a chance, but Uncharted took exploring to a new fucking level. Like I actually played Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. I never played because you know I only have a PS3. I don't have no PS4 yet, but I'm not gonna buy one anytime soon. Like when it's like maybe $300, that's when I'll probably buy a PS4, most likely, and I'll stream some games. But I don't like PlayStation. It's gonna collect dust. Just saying.
Or even consider something like Killzone or The Last of Us, games that managed to kind of change the nature of storytelling and how we kind of view first-party exclusive content. And here's my thought. A lot of those games got momentum over the course of the generation. This was not some like instantaneous deal. They weren't able to just snap their fingers and instantly have 100 million PlayStations sold. But instead, they played the long game. They realized, okay, everybody is obsessed with the Xbox 360 right now. The Xbox 360 has all the big exclusives, the fun games, the online communities. How can we compete with that? And they basically said, we can buy our way to the top. We can find cheap developers, we can pay them a proper wage, we can make sure that we get all their best art. Now here's my thoughts. I do think that's basically what Microsoft may be planning, is to completely take over the freaking internet, take over the world in 2 or 3 years. This isn't going to be an instantaneous acquisition, but part of the interesting intricacies of this, part of this I feel like is not being taken seriously enough, is the fact that Bethesda, because they're now so fully owned, all their stuff can be traded around, including their employees, which means that theoretically, I love Doom Eternal. I think Doom Eternal is fantastic. Legally, they could take the huge chunk of Doom Eternal team. What if they made the next Halo? What if they decide to grab a bunch of people that made Dishonored or Deathloop? Imagine if they took them and made a gritty, realistic spin-off or something like Fable. Like, the potential of this is crazy, but I feel like the grander implications of this are still not fully set. It seems like Xbox's master plan here is basically the fact that if you consider it, PlayStation 5 is currently dominating console sales. If you look at the numbers, it seems like pretty much every single PlayStation 5 that even just goes on a store place is sold out in milliseconds. It's very difficult to get it. I read the comments section. I see you guys saying, where the hell are the PS5s? I wish I knew. And part of this is people getting ready to line up for the theoretical exclusives coming soon. Stuff like Ratchet & Clank, God of War, all the games that are probably in development, like Last of Us Part 3 or whatever. People are getting ready for the future of PlayStation. People are getting ready for the idea of the rumored Silent Hill reboot and stuff. Part of a console jumping onto a generation early is an investment. You're buying some very expensive tech for the games that are going to exist down the road. And it feels like what Microsoft is doing now is they're basically saying, invest in us. Get ready for the future of Games Pass. This is not just about systems sold. This isn't about the Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series S. This is about the power of Xbox. And it's a gamble that I think might work. But I guess we're going to find out. This is still a gigantic question mark. I'm glad I watched this hour-long press conference because it was definitely very, very interesting, but it was a bit boring in times. If I could just be brutally honest here for a second, look, if you're doing a roundtable discussion about really deep investor difficulties and contracts obligations and developer hype and engine contracts, Don't do that at noon on a random Thursday. I don't know. This was a very strange tone, but I can definitely feel the excitement. These guys definitely got paid out the butt by frickin' Microsoft. But let's see what it actually turns into. Will this turn into bigger and better games, or just a lot of fluff and not enough products? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, because this has been another freaking gaming rant by Dreamcast Guy. I got some reviews coming up next week that are going to be very, very fun. I am working on something with Monster Hunter Rise, and all this is going to be absolutely delicious. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. Please give this video a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next.
Yeah. So, hold on. Let me just do that. All right. So, like, I mean, he basically summed it up. You know, like, whatever they have for Sony is gonna stay for Sony, but the future shit will come out for Xbox. Like, that's fucking genius. Like, fucking genius. Because Fallout 5, guaranteed Xbox. Elder Scrolls, I don't know what the fuck they're on. 5, 6, exclusively for Xbox. You know, Doom, whatever they're on, Xbox. Like, all the shit that came out before, like, you guys have it. Like, Deathloop is guaranteed to come out for PlayStation 5 because they did the contract. But I mean, like, I guess you guys gotta invest in Xbox if you're Fallout fans or Elder Scrolls fans, because most likely that's what's gonna happen. You know, it's mine. You can't get it unless you have an Xbox. That's what Microsoft is doing. And in my eyes, that's like some genius shit. That's why I said the title of the video is just fucking awesome. Like, nothing against PlayStation people. You like PlayStation, but I mean, that's part of life, right? That's how the Monopoly game is played, you know. But I'm just fucking happy. I'm excited. Like, I didn't buy this Xbox One X for no reason. Like, I always bought things late. You know, like, I'm not a hype beast. I don't buy shit as soon as it comes out. Like, I don't do that shit. What the fuck I look like waiting on the line 5 hours for a fucking Xbox? Nah, that's some bitch shit. Like, you can do that shit. I ain't gonna do that shit. I'll stay home. I'll play my old shit until it breaks down, and I'll buy another one. I'm fucking cheap. That's just me. So, you know, I bought this shit, this Xbox One X, like, what, this year, and it's already like what, 4 years old, 3 years old already, something like that. I mean, I'm not gonna buy Xbox Series X until another like 6 years. So, you know, and I live in Japan, so it's way cheaper here than it is in America. Just saying, you know, my opinion, because I'm probably gonna buy it. No, I'm still gonna buy it new. You know, but I'm gonna buy the smaller one. I don't like the big clunky shit. Like, I always prefer the Series S of all the Xbox. Like, I didn't have the first Xbox. You know, I mean, I had the first Xbox. I didn't have the first Xbox generation for the 360. I had the 360S. You know, and now I have the One X, which is an upgraded version of the Xbox One S. You know, so like because the new Series X, the S, is basically without the disc. Like, I'm waiting for the Xbox Series X S with the discs. That's what I'm waiting for. But I'm just fucking happy. I'm really happy. Like, I'll show you how fucking happy I am, because like, I'm not one of those YouTubers that just talk shit like fucking classic, right? Great fucking game. One of the best Fallout games I've ever played in my life, because it's fucking hard. Alright? And I still have this closed, like, Game of the Year edition. I had to buy because it's Game of the Year edition, right? And look, I rebought Fallout 3 because Xbox One, you know? Okay, so let me there's one more I didn't show you. Where is it? Oh, my favorite Fallout game of all time, Vegas Ultimate Edition for the Xbox One. Like, remasters, when it comes to Fallout, I have to buy. But I want the Pit Boy. I want all the other shit, but you know, like I'm not gonna waste an arm and a leg on it right now. But yeah, man, I'm fucking excited. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Xbox is